Hello everybody.
Hi there. Tonight we're going to be making homemade pizza.
Yes, homemade pizza crust.
Homemade pizza crust, homemade marinara for the sauce, and I know everybody likes pizza, Debbie.
I love it.
I mean, we were all raised eating pizza, but nothing beats homemade.
But you can't go wrong with any kind of pizza. So you can add whatever toppings you want to. Now, I personally am not a fan of ham and pineapple. I know some people like that,
weird
but that's
stuff. I call that weird pizza. I don't like weird pizza. I just like traditional pizza.
And my homemade pizza has evolved over time. So I used to buy those. You know, you can buy those crusts already made in the plastic packages.
Right, we've done that before.
So I would do that, or we'd order out. But I've now, and it mostly happened last year during quarantine, you know, when we were quarantined at home. So I've started making my own crust.
I am totally impressed, y'all, and I can't wait to find out how to make it.
This one is even a newer recipe from then, but it's a homemade crust. It's so easy. You can make it and freeze it. You don't have to use it all right as soon as you make it. But I'm going to show you how to make the crust, and then we're going to add some toppings and pop it in the freezer and talk about it.
And I'm going to go ahead while you're getting started and get this oven preheated.
All right, 425. Put the oven on at 425.
All right.
In your mixing bowl, you're going to add 8 cups. I've already added 8 cups of all-purpose flour.
Okay.
That's a big deal. Is all-purpose or self-rising.
Not self-rising.
So use your all-purpose. And the recipe then calls for 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. I won't measure it out, but it's almost the whole package. This I got Fleischmann's yeast. This is the kind I have. Is that what you use?
That's the only thing I've ever used. I don't know if there is other brands.
Some people, there is. I don't know about the brand, but there's bottles or jars of yeast. I don't use a whole lot of it, so this is what I've always used, and so it seems to be fine. So 2.5 teaspoons of yeast. And y'all, when I bake, I try to do this exactly like the recipe says. Even though I usually eyeball things, I don't really do too much eyeballing with baking things.
On your baking, it really can make a difference.
Yes, definitely.
Just a variation in the amounts.
And it can throw the whole thing off. So that was the whole package, 2.5 teaspoons.
Okay.
And the same with salt. I made a mess with the salt here. I'll clean that up in a little while.
Debbie is the mess maker now.
Salt is 2 teaspoons. So there's 1 and 2. And then take your whisk and just mix the dry ingredients a little bit, just like that. And then you're going to add water.
And that kind of helps sift it too, doesn't it?
Yes,
Debbie?
it does. Sifts it, gets it all mixed in together so that you don't have yeast only in one part.
Right.
You want it all the way through your flour. Blended. Yes, perfect word. Yes. Okay. Then add 2 2/3 cups of water. Okay. Of lukewarm water. And then take a sturdy spoon, is what it says. Wooden spoon is for me the sturdiest. And then all I'm going to do is stir. I'm going to stir this up. Do you have another mat?
Like this?
Yeah, or some kind of mat that I could. You're going to need this. You're going to need to knead it.
You need it.
Yes, that'll work.
Would this work?
I'm just going to mix it up.
Or we could use parchment.
Parchment works, whatever's.
I bet that.
Because we're working right here on the stovetop, so we need to cover that up. We're going to get it all messed up. But you're going to just mix in your water and get your flour mixture mixed up really good so you can knead it for a few minutes. It takes about 10 minutes you're going to knead it for about 10 minutes so that you can get everything mixed up together really good. And then you're going to have to let this set for 2 hours. I know you're thinking 2 hours. I got to wait for 2 hours to get my pizza crust done. So with this, you do want to plan ahead.
Planning ahead is important.
It's very important for a lot of things. So it's getting mixed up.
Looks really dry.
It is. It does look a little dry. But I think if I keep mixing, it will be fine. But if it doesn't, I'm going to add just a tad more water.
Yeah.
It is. The recipe is. So when I made it last 2 2/3, that's how much I put in here.
Okay.
I may need to add a little more. Let me get just a tad more water.
Okay. Warm water.
And I'm going to put in just a little bit more water. But yes, you got to let it sit for 2 hours so that it can rise. That yeast is going to make your dough rise and get thicker. I'm just going to put just a tad. And so,
How much is a tad, Debbie?
well, my tad and your tad might be a little different.
Does anybody know how much a tad is? Because I can't find it in any recipe books.
So while I'm doing this and I'm going to be kneading, Mo is going to need some already finished dough. I made some last night so that we didn't have to wait 2 whole hours for my dough to rise.
That's right, because this is our supper, and we're gonna be hungry.
We don't want to wait 2 hours to eat dinner.
We don't.
So I think
That's that. Yeah.
Sorry.
It's somewhere.
So after you've got your dough mixed, what you're going to do is divide it into pieces, because you're not. It's going to make a whole lot. You're not going to want use the whole thing all in one pizza. So I've got.
Oh, it smells good.
I've made 4 recipes, 4 different pizzas. I will have made 4 pizzas out of what I'm mixing up right here. We've already got one put out on a personal pan, so we're going to decorate that here in a minute with some toppings. Mo's going to make another one right here. Then we have a one for a larger pan too. So
Okay, so basically when you're kneading, Debbie, you just kind of press it out and then turn it
Yes.
over and do like that,
Yes.
like you would Play-Doh.
exactly, pretend like it's Play-Doh. I'm going to go ahead and put this out.
And
here
you've
on
already
first.
kneaded this some.
I've already kneaded that one, so it just needs to be rolled out.
Okay, rolling
And-
it out. And I'm not using any flour on my Pampered Chef pastry mat. These
That-
are the greatest things.
If you felt like you needed a little flour on it, it's okay.
Yeah.
But you probably won't need to, because it just it doesn't stick. Once it's been sitting for a few minutes, it doesn't stick.
It really isn't sticking, I'm shocked.
So I'm just gonna be kneading this while she's getting our.
Debbie, you're so needy.
I am pretty needy. I'm sorry.
Oh my goodness.
So you don't have to make round pizzas every time. I brought a long pan,
Like a bar pan?
a bar pan. Mine is cracked on the end, but it still works. I cracked it. But we're going to make a pizza on this, so don't feel like every pan has to be round. I don't know why I always thought that.
Yeah, but that's true, because that's how they come at Pizza Hut.
Exactly.
Hey Debbie, did you know that mine and Tink's first date was at Pizza Hut?
No, was it?
That's
On
where we
Broad Street?
ate. Yes, on Broad Street. Pizza Hut on Broad Street. It is now where Calvary Chapel
Yep.
parking lot is. But it was the Pizza Hut, and we ate there with Beverly and Rick.
Oh, I remember. Yeah, okay.
So it was
few
really
years
good.
ago, wasn't
A few years ago.
That was
And
a hangout. That was a favorite hangout.
It was. And I still to this day, when I eat a deep dish pepperoni pizza, I think of how good that pizza was that day. It was so good. Hey, look.
Isn't that?
What if I was
Just
like,
a chef.
all right.
So just add that one too. And then just wiggle it around,
Wiggle
make
it around.
it fit. If you want to make a deep dish pizza, you could do the same thing. Take a pan with deep sides and just leave your edges up along the side, and you can make a
That's
deep
kind of
dish
how I'm
pizza.
doing this with it, though.
And I was really surprised at how good this pizza dough is. It comes out great. I really like the taste.
Now, where'd you find the recipe?
Online.
Okay, online.
Google
it.
has everything.
So there's my little pizza.
All right.
I'm going to stretch yours out a little
All
bit more.
right, that works. So yeah, just let me give you a tip though. If this is too much for you, you come in one evening, you really like to have a homemade pizza, but you don't want to go to the trouble of kneading your dough
Doing
and
all that.
making your crust, get this a package of pizza crust. This one came from our local Ingles. This one is my favorite. I've tried several different ones. All you do to this is add a half a cup of water, and it will make a regular size
And
pizza
you don't have to, you only
crust.
let it sit for 5 minutes,
Yeah,
right?
I don't even know if you have to. Yes, I think it is 5. Yes,
minutes.
5 to 10 minutes. That's it. That's all you got to do. So that's another thing you can do. So I've kneaded this dough. So what I'm going to do now is set it aside, and I'm going to get a bowl, and I'm just going to let it sit in the bowl for 2 hours. We're going to cover it with with
Plastic wrap.
Plastic wrap, thank you. And we're gonna just let it set for a couple hours. And then we'll divide it up and put it into a bag. And then after 2 hours, we'll divide it up and put it into a bag with a little bit of oil in the bag so it won't stick to the bag. And you can use it the next day. You can use it, you put it in the freezer and save it for 3 months, up to 3 months.
Here you go, dear. Oh, you'll put it in?
No, I'd rather put it in another one.
Yeah.
Because I left some flour in that other one. So you can have this in the freezer so that, down the road somewhere, you need something to fix for dinner, pull out a pizza crust, let it unthaw, and make pizza. And wash your hands right quick.
That's a great idea. And there's just something about homemade is always better. I don't know.
I think it is too. Like I said, my making homemade pizza has kind of evolved. I used to just buy the kids a lot of times will even buy the pizzas in the frozen section, and those are okay for a quick lunch.
Well, if you got to,
If you got to. But another thing is, I think it's fun to get everybody in the kitchen and make pizza. So you can, with these are individual pizzas, so you can, if you have one for everybody, you can make your own. If you don't like onions on yours, then you don't have to put onions on that one.
Yeah, I like that.
So
now, are those pans Pampered Chef?
These are Pampered Chef personal pan pizzas. They're
Right.
stoneware.
I didn't know about those, Debbie.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
You
a
know, I
small.
might have to have those.
I know. I got one for everybody in the house.
Now, you haven't needed what was in there, have you?
I have not needed that, right? You need to.
But
knead
I
it a little
noticed
bit.
it was a little oily.
That's because I put a little bit of oil into my plastic bag whenever I divided it up. After it had set for 2 hours, I divided it up.
Does that keep it from getting dried out?
It keeps it from getting dried out, keeps it from sticking to the pan. Then I kept it in the refrigerator overnight till we came here today to make our pizza.
Gotcha.
And we're going to make a large pizza on a rectangle stone.
Right. So is this going to be enough crust for that one?
I think it will. Once you roll it out. I do have some more though. Here.
Debbie always
Here's
gives me
another
all the
one.
gravy jobs. Like rolling out the
This
pizza
one may
dough.
be more, so if you want to use this one instead, or
Yeah, let me use that one. You put that one back
yep,
somewhere.
put it right here.
Okay.
Put it back in the bag. We'll
Back
put
in the
this in the
bag.
freezer for another day. So the next thing that you gotta have for your pizza is marinara, and you can go to the store and buy a jar of marinara if you want to. A lot of people, and it's good. I usually do have that, but I decided one day
But Debbie got all Martha Stewart on us.
that I wanted to make some homemade marinara. It's really easy. I'm not going to make it here for you. But I am going to put the recipe
Down in the
online
comments.
whenever we get finished.
Okay.
But all it is crushed tomatoes, tomato paste, onions, garlic, Italian seasoning, beef bouillon, parsley, and a little bit of Parmesan cheese.
Sounds
right
good.
here. So this is what I'm going to use. See the marinara? And you can use this as a dip. So if you want to dip on, you have some some breadsticks.
Oh, yeah.
Great with breadsticks.
Let me smell it, Deb.
Let me get
Smells good.
Let's see. Let me get a
Smells
spoon.
good. There's some spatulas over there too, and a little hickey if you want
I'll
to
use a
spread
spoon
it
right
in.
here.
Okay.
So you can see it's pretty thick too. See how that'd be really, really good with some breadsticks. I'm just gonna spread a little on each crust while Mo's getting this other one. You want me to do that while you decorate the
No,
pizzas?
I'm good.
You're
I'm good. You decorate on, girl.
Okay. I'm not a great decorator, but I can do pizza. I love this marinara though. I really do like it. And I like a lot of marinara. I know some people don't, but I do put, on my pizza,
I like a lot too. I like
good
to
bit.
taste the marinara.
Right. You do you, and I do me. Right?
That's right. You do you, boo.
We have some pepperoni. I'm going to put pepperoni on one, and I'm going to just do veggies on one.
Okay.
And I picked up turkey pepperoni. You don't have to use that.
Accident?
It was an accident. I meant to get regular pepperoni, but I have had this, and I do like it. I'm sure that takes out the calories, right?
I'm sure.
So the calories in the pizza are gone. That one not rolling good? Let me do it.
I'm going to put the expert in charge over here.
Let me roll that one. You decorate.
Okay. All right, let me
So
get
what
me-
kind of things do you all like on your pizza? Put in the comments what you like. Are you a ham and pineapple kind of person? That's not my favorite, but
Okay, so
I'm
you've
sure
already
it's-
got the pepperonis on this one.
yes. And here's you
Okay.
some more toppings.
So I am going to put, woo-wee, onions. I'm gonna sprinkle some onions.
There's a couple of different kinds of onions in there, and boy, are they strong.
They are strong. I'm not gonna put
There
a ton.
is, we love the red onions, but I had a red one and a white one, so I did chopped
Yep.
up some of both.
I used my last onion, when was it, yesterday, and I thought I cannot live without some onions in my cupboard. So I'm gonna have to go to the store in the next day or two.
So I roll this out pretty thin. You really don't even have to do that, but if you wanted a thicker crust, you could leave it a little bit thicker if you wanted to.
Yeah, I usually like pretty thick, not super thin, really in between is what I like.
And another thing about that too
Mushrooms.
is when you're cooking it, if you leave your crust thick, it's gonna take a little longer to cook than if you leave it thin. So you kind of gotta just watch it when you put it in the oven. Another thing I do is I don't set a timer that much. I usually watch the time or watch
Right.
how it's cooking.
Okay, So we got mushrooms and onion, and now we're gonna add some, she's sliced up these pretty colorful bell
I
peppers.
love bell peppers.
We're gonna arrange those on there.
Hey, some people do a white sauce too. That's a good thing to have. I don't have a
Never-
recipe here, but I know that.
That means the oven's ready.
Okay.
I've never really done a white sauce.
I
on
haven't
pizza. I'm
either
not
on
sure
pizza,
about
but
it.
I've saw them. You could do chicken. If you had chicken, you could drop some chicken on it.
Yeah.
All right, that's good for that one.
I'm just a traditional kind of girl, though. I like my pizza like I like my, my life. Normal, average, plain. Not really plain, but you know what I mean. I'm a traditional person.
What about do you want to put seasoning on?
Okay,
either of
so
these?
Dan brought this seasoning called Everything But the Pizza. So really, I smelled it a while ago, and it smells so good, y'all.
It smells just like Italian.
It smells like
even
when you
sauce.
walk in the door at Olive Garden or
Yes,
something.
yes.
So I'm just going to sprinkle a wee little bit of this on top of those veggies, just to give it an extra little kick. Can't hurt, right?
It cannot hurt. Now,
Okay.
the most important part to a pizza for me is the cheese,
The
right?
cheese.
So we have some Parmesan cheese and mozzarella cheese. If you wanted to use cheddar cheese, you could use really any kind of cheese you want.
But to me, again, traditional mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
I like the
And
mozzarella.
I really like a lot of mozzarella.
I do too. Now you go ahead and put this on there. You don't bake the pizza at all,
We do
like for a
not.
bit?
No.
Okay.
Every time I make it, I just put it in the oven with all my toppings, and it comes out perfect every time.
Awesome. I can't wait.
I'm using my
This is
everything
gonna be a great supper.
but the pizza
Everything
seasoning,
but the pizza.
and I'm gonna add mushrooms. We'll finish off these mushrooms here.
This is kind of fun. I bet
See?
kids would love this.
Exactly.
You
We
could
have-
have like a pizza party, birthday
Yes.
party for a kid, and all their friends do their own little personal pan pizza.
Wouldn't that be great?
It
I
would
think
be
that is
awesome.
would be a fun party.
Yeah, I do
yes,
too.
for sure.
Oh, look, here's some pepperoni that fell off the wayside.
So
Yeah, they're
we're
going
going
away.
to put all this into the oven. We're going to take some pictures whenever it comes out, and we're going to
Because
get
we
to
always
eat
forget
pizza.
that part.
We will show you what it looks like in just a little while. It's going to cook for about, this one will cook longer, so it'll probably take 15-20 minutes. You just got to watch it till your cheese gets really good and bubbly and a little bit
Brown on the edges.
and on the edges, and it'll be
Okay.
perfect.
All right, guys.
All right.
We'll be back in a few minutes.
Be back. Pizza is ready. You got the door?
Yep.
Pizza is ready. Yum.
Yummo.
I'm gonna set that down right quick.
It looks delicious, y'all.
Here's another one. I think that's gonna be mine, the whole thing.
The whole thing, yeah. They look really good. This is gonna be our supper, y'all. Tink's gonna come in here and he's gonna gobble up one of these personal pans, maybe half of this one right here. I don't know, but anyway, they look delicious, Debbie.
And we're gonna have some marinara
Yep.
to dip our crust in too. So we're gonna eat good
It's gonna
tonight.
be awesome. So you're gonna have to try this homemade crust. I think it's gonna make a big difference. Should we cut us a piece,
Yeah, let's
Deb?
do.
Let's cut one of those. Can you cut one of those, Deb?
Yep.
Just one of those off the.
Let me hold on to it right here.
Yeah. So she's using the Pampered Chef pizza cutter, which I cannot live without it. I use it for a lot of different things.
Yeah, it ain't just for pizza cutting, is it?
No.
Although it's great to have for your pizzas.
It is great for pizzas.
I don't know if I cut through right there. Yeah, I did. There it is.
Oh my goodness. Now you know I'm gonna have to bite it on camera.
Yeah.
Here, let me get me
It's
a-
hot.
I know it's hot, but you know I have to see how good
All right,
it
come
is
try it.
for our people out in the.
It's really good. You're gonna love it.
I'm
So
gonna eat a
y'all
bite
make
of
sure
this.
you get the recipe down so you can try this yourself.
Okay, here it is, y'all. It is hot, but
Crust pretty
oh
good.
my gosh. Very good. Oh my, that
Marinara.
marinara. I'm in love. This is almost as good as that pizza at Pizza Hut in 1978.
Make some pizza. Bye.
Bye. See you next time.